What made the high school legend become a legend? Jake was just a sophomore when the whole cafeteria food poisoning thing started. Kids were getting sick every Tuesday after eating the chicken nuggets. Stomach cramps, throwing up, the works. The lunch lady, Mrs. Peterson, kept saying it was just bad timing. The principal called it a coincidence. But Jake? He wasn't buying it. His little sister Mia got hit the worst. She was in 8th grade and missed 3 Tuesdays in a row because she couldn't keep anything down. When she told him the chicken tasted funny but she was too hungry to care, that's when Jake decided to do something about it. He started bringing his own lunch and watching. Every Tuesday, same pattern. Kids would eat the nuggets during first lunch period, and by third period, half of them were in the nurse's office. But here's the thing nobody else noticed. It was only happening to kids who ate during first lunch. Second lunch kids were fine. Jake got curious. He snuck into the kitchen during his study hall and saw something gross. The chicken for first lunch was sitting out on the counter since morning. No heat lamps, no warming trays, just sitting there for 4 hours getting nasty. But second lunch chicken? Fresh from the freezer, cooked right before serving. He tried telling the lunch staff. Mrs. Peterson laughed him off and said he didn't know what he was talking about. The head cook told him to mind his own business. Even the assistant principal said they followed all health codes. So Jake did what any smart kid would do. He started recording everything on his phone. Times, temperatures, how long food sat out. He even brought his mom's meat thermometer in his backpack and checked the chicken when nobody was looking. Way too low. Dangerous low. But nobody would listen to a 15-year-old kid. That's when Jake remembered his cousin worked at the county health department. He texted him all the evidence. Videos, temperature readings, photos of the timeline he'd written down. His cousin freaked out and said he'd send an inspector immediately. The health inspector showed up during first lunch on a Tuesday. Perfect timing. They found everything Jake had documented. Food sitting at unsafe temperatures, cross-contamination, the whole mess. The kitchen got shut down for a week, but that's not what made Jake a legend. Word got around that some student had called in the health department. Kids were trying to figure out who the snitch was. Some were mad because they liked the nuggets even if they made people sick. Others were grateful someone finally did something. Jake kept quiet about it for weeks. He figured it would blow over. Then Connor Walsh, this bully who ruled the junior class, started bragging that he was going to find out who ratted on the lunch staff and make them pay. Connor's girlfriend worked in the office and had been trying to get access to phone records and stuff. During lunch one day, Connor stood up on a table and announced he'd figured out who the snitch was. He pointed at Danny, this quiet kid who everybody picked on. Danny looked terrified. Connor and his friends surrounded Danny's table, calling him names and threatening to beat him up after school. That's when Jake couldn't stay quiet anymore. He stood up from his table across the cafeteria and yelled, "Hey Connor, you got the wrong guy!" Everyone turned to look at him. The whole cafeteria went dead silent. "It was me," Jake said, walking over to where Connor was standing. "I called the health department because you idiots were too busy complaining about being sick to actually do something about it." Connor tried to act tough, asking Jake who he thought he was, but Jake didn't back down. He looked around at all the kids watching and said, "I'm the guy who stopped you from getting food poisoning every week. You're welcome." After that day, everything changed for Jake. Teachers who never noticed him before started saying hi in the hallways. Upperclassmen would nod at him with respect.